Hey friends, welcome to Watcher of Realms video. So I'm going to first speak about the heroes in this coming weekend's banner because that has become absolutely clear when it comes to the regular summons, the special summon, and also the ancient. When I say regular, I'm talking about the rare crystals, which is offering us a whole bouquet of heroes, and then of course the ancient has got also out. So let's go according to the interest. Obviously, I would like to go via the Kigiri route, but let's clear the ancients first. So ancient summoning is going to start on Saturday, which is 19th of October. It is offering two lords, which is I'm seeing for the first time, two lords being offered, both brilliant lords. It's Twin Fiend, a mage, magic damager, and infernal faction lord. Very clearly you can look at the reviews, which will give you an idea as to how he is rated. And there's a good number of people who have rated, almost 1,000 plus, in certain cases 2,000 and above. So faction trial, XP raid, tide, void rift, guild war, gold raid, drake's chasm, Gadrier, because 4.9 is also the same, arena AoE DPS, arena single target DPS, gear dungeon, immortal codex. Basically everything is covered in this gear raid 2, 3. So when you look at it, I mean, all parts of the game covered. Twin Fiend is extremely useful. Big reason being he's a lord first of all, and then of course he's a mage, so he whacks, and he's a magic mage, which means magic damager, so goes much further. Multi-target attacker, which means extremely useful. So that's that. I'm going to just look at this. So his normal range is that, but the main point is to look at the ultimate, and that's where you see the extended range being given. So that's like 4 tiles forward almost, and 5 sideways, so 4 by 5 except the 2 corners of the top, and that's a massive range to cover. I'm going to skip the reading part so that I don't have very large video, because I trust the players to be able to easily go through this in their game app, whether you are on your computer, tablet, or phone. Very easy to read, so please check that out. Obviously, he provides stun and burning, which are his two very important factors apart from the damage. Stun helps out in terms of, and I want to unable to take action, and that's for half a second. So very clearly useful. In Titanic Ruins, Apocalypse 2, or rather Samra 2, where the fellow keeps whacking away, and this guy's stun just stops him for that 1 second, because half a second is technically 1 second if you start looking at it. It's not too much of a time difference. And that provides that extra bit for certain heroes to charge up and create a safety net or some kind of a mechanism to reduce the power of the Samra hit. Having said that, the other part of the Lord benefit is increases faction team members' basic attributes by 15%. When Lord Twin Fiend casts Meteoric Strike, all faction team members gain penetration increase, crit rate increase. So when you say penetration increase, there's ignores 30% of defense and magic resistance, which is massive. Crit rate increases by 20% and crit damage increases by 30% for 10 seconds. Now this Lord bonus is excellent because it just empowers all other, and the Infernal faction is really badass. If you want to see which jerks are in there, here are the fellows. You have Soul Cadence. Obviously he's a lord by himself, so he'll do his own shit, but you've got this guy, really nice. Okay, then you've got Nocturne, you've got Anai, and one of the best heroes in the game, or rather both side by side, Hex and Cetrum, and of course Micah. So go for him if you are looking at a lord. Let's go to the next one. Pretty, that's Laya. She's a healer, magic healer. And of course, let's go to her ultimate. And you can see what a massive, it's 5 by 5 with just one tile in the corner being left out. And that's a huge area to cover from the perspective of a heal. So you just put her in the center, she gets all the attention and she just keeps healing. So that's the clear thing. AoE healed, rage restoration, and buff. So these are all three very useful specials, because AoE heal, AoE is massive damage, and if that is healed, AoE also gives an ailment or some kind of a debuff. So that gets healed, and it's because the AoE impact via the ailment or a debuff curbs the hero, not just causes damage, but also puts on certain curbs. So healing with those curbs on is really brilliant. Then rage restoration, which means the hero's ultimates charge up faster to be able to fire on. And of course, buff is extremely useful because the buff provides attack based benefit. So that's that. So these are all the ultimates. Let's go to her Lord bonus. Increases faction team members' basic attributes by 15%. Periodically increases faction team members' damage and healing bonus by 50% for 20 seconds, which is a sizable duration and a quantity. The more faction allies there are on the team, the more frequently it takes effect. When any faction team member is healed, their damage will increase by 25% for 10 seconds. Now this is a buff, straightforward a buff. So very clearly that's useful, and since she covers a massive area, she is constantly providing buffs, and 10-second buff is fairly good, and 25% is a good amount, apart from the whole host of things that she's doing. So another very good lord, two good lords have been provided. They're very useful in gameplay. Twin Fiend a little more than Laya, but Laya has her own impact. I did get Laya, but I haven't put her to use. And Twin Fiend came late for me because I have Soul Cadence. So Soul Cadence is still running the show. Having said that, that's the special ancient summoning. I will not be summoning in this particular ancient because I have both of them. Neither do I want any. I want to now collect and wait for Ingrid or anybody crazy coming. And that would be my focus area. Excuse me. Now let's go to the Eclipse Divine Summoning and Eclipse Invocation of Spirits. Now this is where you get to use your divine crystals, legendary summoning crystals, and of course your rare blue ones. So who all are available there? We have got a newbie in the form of a mage, magic damager, Zaris. Zaris is a summoner, which means he summons something, burst damage, and multi-target attack. All three excellent. So what does this guy do? Summons 3 Souls of the Dam. What are they? Souls of the Dam inherits 100% of the master's attributes and assists the master in attacking enemies in range. Each attack deals 80% AoE magic damage to up to 5 enemies. Souls of the Dam exists for 30 seconds. Now, all that is insane. 3 fellows are summoned. They give 80% magic damage, AoE magic damage, and to up to 5 enemies, and they exist for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long duration, so they basically are kicking ass no matter what. Wow. So that's that. Now let's go to the ultimate, where a lot of this can be seen. So the ultimate, I'm going to try one more just to see the range. Yeah, range is the same, so there is no crazy increase of the range. There are 2 ways I check. I check the hero details and max it out, and I also tap the ultimate. So it gets an idea whether the range is increased or not. So over here, the ultimate is basically 2.2 seconds, which because it's a burst damage, so giving it long is insane, will overpower the hero, and then, a whole other drama starts. Summons 4 Souls of the Dam. So talent is going to give 3, but the ultimate and the skill cost is what is reduced. So the full skilling Wow. So summons 4 souls of the dam. We just went through what they are, and reduces the summoned number by 1. So that's how it becomes 3 with each ultimate cast. So we'll start off with 4 souls of the dam, and with each ultimate cast, it'll reduce. A minimum of 1 soul of the dam can be summoned. So it will not become 0, it will stop. So if you have basically used his ultimate 3 times, so you'll reduce 3 souls of the dam, and it'll basically stick to 1. Whoa. Okay, let's go. These all are useful. Souls of the dam, time extension by 1 second through skill up. Number of enhanced attack, souls of the dam enhance their next 2 attacks, and attacks can be, and also inflict slow. So a lot of stuff happening over here. And of course the cost, when I'm looking at the cost, 12 cost is literally nothing. That's insane. When I'm looking at the total, the max level, that's a very low HP and not a crazy attack, and the attack interval is 4 seconds, which is very high. That is the balancing factor when you look at what all stuff Xaris does. So how is he? Let's look at the awakenings. So awaken 1 summons 2 extra souls of the dam. Wow. So from 4 it will become 6. Attack numbers go up. When there are no souls of the dam on the field, each time the hero restores rage, there's a 5% chance to instantly gain full rage. Whoa, wow. 5% chance to instantly gain full rage. That's crazy. Penetration. And the last one is increases the effect duration of coercion and souls of the dam by 5 seconds. Now that's huge, because attacks 1 souls of the dam every 4 seconds, increasing their damage by 40% for 5 seconds, yet reducing their existing time by 5 seconds. Yeah, this is a little bit of a theatrics, but for me, 5 second is huge, because that's already kicking ass for 30, and then you have added 5. So that's Xaris for you. Obviously, there's nothing over there. And, well, is a good hero, I will say. I haven't tested him, so I have no clue. I will leave that for other content creators who have access to the test server to talk about him. I think there are some videos out there, so you can please check that out. You just need to type Xaris, Watcher of Realms, and then all the possible search in YouTube will bring that video or those specific videos forward. Having said that, let's move to the next. We know Lucius, and I have spoken about Lucius earlier also. So Lucius is, he came, I think, some 3 months back, 2-3 months back, and he is extremely useful. And let's go over here. Faction Trial, Titanic Ruins, Drake's Chasm. His major claim to fame is Titanic Ruins, and we'll see why. So he's a marksman, piercer, and part of the Watcher family. So is going to be part of this chick's faction. So burst damage, buff dispel. And Samra has buff that annihilates the attacking team. So Lucius comes into play over there. And then you can go into all details that's written over here. I'll go straight to the ultimate, which is 20 seconds. Can it be increased? No, it cannot be. So it's going to be 20 seconds. Loads the weapon with sanctified bolts, increasing damage by 20% for 20 seconds. All duration of the ultimate. Basic attacks and pursuits deal an extra 100% damage 1 time. First 4 pursuits dispel 1 buff from the target upon hit. When activated, dispels all damnations inflicted. And the hero won't be inflicted with damnation during the ultimate. I want to understand what the hell is damnation. Intensity of damnation received. The higher the stacks, the closer to the demonic embrace. So Demonic embrace, that's fine. Damnation, intensity. Okay, so what is a damnation? Is there any way, anywhere it has been explained? Damnation, I would like to believe, is getting damned, which means there must be some kind of a ailment or a debuff infliction that cannot happen or something like that. That's my understanding. Happy to be corrected, but that's that. Too many words. I think there should be something written over here. Is there anything in the story? I do not see a word damnation. Okay, let's go in here. Increases pursuits damage by 25%. Okay, attack. Stun. During the ultimate, pursuit inflicts stun for half a second and damage reduction. So that's that. All damage goes up, and during Demonic Embrace, dealing damage each time, increase attack by 2% up to a maximum increase of 36%. This effect lasts until the end of Demonic Embrace. Increases damage by 200% and reduces attack interval by 30%. Each basic attack is guaranteed to trigger a pursuit. During the effect, cannot activate ultimate, restore rage, or be inflicted with damnation. There has to be something written somewhere. Where is he? Yeah, there you are. Let's see. Is there any damnation written over here? Okay. No. No. Crack shot. Okay. Cannot activate ultimate, restore rage. So there's no benefit he gets during the demonic embrace, or be inflicted with damnation. Okay, dispels. Okay, let's go back. I think it was the same that I mentioned, that anything that curbs him is not going to be allowed to be put in. So that's Lucius. Very clearly you can see he's obviously not a very highly rated across the game, but he is fairly useful across the game, most parts of the game. So when you look at it, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, and 5 are areas which have been rated. Other areas would have also got different rating depending on what your roster is. But he's basically the big league player, because Void Rift, Drake's Chasm, Titanic Ruins, and Faction Trials are big leagues. Let's go to Razak. He is more valued. Why? Let's find out. AoE attack, burst damage. Both very useful things. So he's a marksman, part of the Piercer gang, and also he's a Piercer. And look at that range. That's 5 tiles by 3. He has that additional range, and that is helpful in many areas of the game. Let's go over here and quickly run through. So XP rate, gold rate, regular, tide, gear rate 3 is the key. Gear dungeon 2 is the key. Void Rift, faction trials, Immortal Codex also he has to be. It's given very less, but Immortal Codex in, of course not throughout it, but in the Pelagios section, I use him. So yeah, he's useful because of that massive range that you have in this ultimate. And what does he do? Ultimate, Ocean's Clutch, deals 700 damage to the enemies in range. And damage multiplier plus 300 can go, so it becomes higher. Let me see where my fellow is sitting. Where the hell are you? And I also got his exclusive artifact. So I've got 2 done. So mine is sitting at 900 damage to enemies in the range. And he's a multi-enemy whacker. So that's that. And the moment I get this, it becomes 1000 damage. 1000 damage is a badass one. Wow. So that's Razak. Of course, you can increase the AoE damage to trigger a chance of eating the soul fish. Soul eating fish. Eating the soul fish. Soul hunting. All these. And of course, he has a bond skill with Captain Reef. I don't have Captain Reef. So, or Reve. And that's that. I am going to quickly check this. Yeah. So it's basically the ultimate where his range becomes insane. Otherwise, he has the 2 corners empty. So the target has to be, if it's not the ultimate, for the regular one, target has to be right in the center and you do your whack. So Razak is an excellent hero, useful across the game. You can clearly see. And his awakening for every kill, soul hunting duration, plus 2 seconds. So 22 seconds it becomes. Soul eating fish will inflict slow. This really helps. Because getting that little time, and this is it's 2 seconds. 2 seconds of slow is insane. It's like 4 times many of the other fellows giving slow. Crit rate is okay. Ocean Clutch has 25% chance of triggering 2 times. That's the ultimate. So it has a chance of triggering 2 times. 25%. Imagine back to back. That's insane. So good. I just realized I've been saying insane a lot. Okay, but he is pretty good. So those are the 3 legendaries available from Friday onwards. And then there are 3 epics. So she's going to be handy in one of the Mica fusions or something like that, if I remember well. Nothing to speak about. And I'm sure many people have Titus. So again, nothing to speak about. You can look over here for their use and value. Look over here for their use and value. But because it's such a banner, these guys are going to be more fodder because not much happening with either of the 3. Very underwhelming options on the epic front. Going to the main theme of this week. Yes, others are useful too. And there is a new hero in the form of Zaris. But the most anticipated one is Bushido summoning Kigiri event exclusive. 15x drop rate. I thought it is going to be only 15x, and thankfully it is not just 15x. There is a 15x drop rate of this hero and also guaranteed within 250 summons. So it is possible with such a bouquet being offered to do the pity manipulation because there are good heroes available. And for those who don't have these heroes, I'm talking about obviously these 3 legendaries also. Then doing a pity manipulation really helps. So keep pulling till you are close to pity. So start in the beginning itself. You should know how your pity situation is and then proceed accordingly and arrive at 10 short of the pity on the banner of Kigiri and stop. Or you can just go for it. Maybe the one that will show up will be Kigiri. So you can actually try that. If you can get Kigiri earlier, that's that. Or you can go onto this banner and aim for the 15x benefit from this particular banner. Of course, it's RNG, so there's no guarantee who it'll be. It can be one of these 3 because they have a higher chance, or it could be just anyone. So RNG does play spoil sport in a certain way, but that's how the game has been designed, and we all know that. Now, coming down to this particular banner. Since Kigiri is a fighter, thankfully he's been kept normal. But let's look at this, and this is where it becomes absolutely crazy. That's his ultimate range. It is 4 tiles above and 5 tiles sideways. So it is, and only the 2 corners are not included in the ultimate, which means it's 20 tiles that he covers. As a fighter, he covers 20 tiles. In normal play, this is what he covers. Self and a tile in front. What does he do as a hero? Burst damage, which means there's basically an atomic blast, and parry. Talent, via the talent, can launch sweeping strike. What is it? Dashes towards the target direction and performs a sword drawing slash, dealing 180% AoE damage 1 time to up to 6 enemies in the path. So whacks 6 fellows, and then deals 480 damage 1 time to one of these enemies, which means that enemy is history. Immune to all damage during the cast. So during this particular cast, he is immune to any damage coming from those fellows. This is awesome. Can launch this kind of a strike at the farthest enemy within the ultimate's range every 40 seconds. So every 40 seconds, this is the ultimate's range. He can do a sweeping strike every 40 seconds. Each time basic attack deals damage, it reduces the cooldown of sweeping strike by 1 second. The AoE damage of sweeping strike and ember strike inflicts bleed, which means taking bleed increased damagers via the artifact, and of course their ultimate helps. The additional damage ignores 50% defense and dispels 1 buff. Oh, this is fantastic, which means he comes in straight. There will be another debuffer, dispels 1 buff. So there is only one fellow that we have to deal with while dealing with, say, a Titan or a Samara or something like that, guild boss, which means that's another debuffer available. That's excellent to have. I like that his cost is 17. I think it is 1 less. Blocks 2, that's standard. Let's look at the max level. Those are very good numbers in the form of HP and attack. Even defense is fairly decent. Magic resistance, okay. They have to keep it that way. So this jerk can be killed. That's that. Now let's go into what a sweeping strike is. We've already discussed this. What an amber strike. So what does the ultimate do? Sheaths the blade and prepares launch an extra sweeping strike up to 8 seconds. So sweeping strike can go up to 8 seconds during the ultimate. When receiving direct damage while sheathed. So that's that. Parries the damage and launches extra sweeping strike early. If parry is triggered within 3 seconds of entering the sheathed state, launches amber strike instead. And amber strike is dashes towards the target direction, performs a sword drawing slash, dealing 200 AoE damage 1 time to up to 6 and enemies in the path, and then deals 400 damage 2 times to one of these enemies. Oh gosh, if the enemy is alive. Immune to all damage during the cast. Okay, so this is even more crazy. Ember strike, and ember strike. So there is a chance while skill up in the ultimate to increase the amber strike single target by 80%, which will go up to 480%, and the AoE damage another 40, so it'll become 240%. Rest, it's standard damage to one enemy 1 time. Attack increase. So this is the passive. Pairing during tranquil reflection. Increases attack by 20% for 10 seconds. That can be, you can also increase it by 30% when you skill up. Then this swallow counter. When sweeping strike and ember strike end, there is a 15% chance to immediately launch an identical strike in the opposite direction. 15% can be again increased by 10% further through skill up. Wow, I think this guy is going full skill up for me the moment I get him. And nobody gets skill crystals now. I'm saving all, and thank God we are getting Corridor of Glory, because that should provide 2 skill crystals very clearly. So, wow. This fellow is absolute badass. Let's look at the ultimates. When launching a basic attack, additionally restores 3 rage and 3% HP. So there is a self-heal component. If the chalice is able to heal by 4%, and that is useful, 3% HP is excellent, but you have to have Awaken 1. So getting a second Zaris will be useful. Second one is the standard, 300 attack further. Third is Tranquil Reflection, and within 10 seconds after sweeping strike is activated, each direct damage inflicts additional damage 1 time equal to 35% of the direct damage within 10 seconds after this. Amber, it's again each direct damage inflicts additional damage 2 times. Each time equal to 25% of the direct damage. So that's Awaken 3. You're basically hammering away more. Awaken 3. Sorry. Yeah. Then let's go to Awaken 4. It's Penetration, as if the jerk needs that. And then 5 is Enhance of this, Enhance of this, and Sweeping Strike and Ember Strike launch during Tranquil Reflection will always trigger Swallow Counter. Okay, what is Swallow Counter? Okay, there must be something. Wait. Nah. Yeah, that's the part that you need to define somewhere. Okay, we'll find out. So that's Kigiri. Good luck for getting him as early as possible. And advance congratulations for those who know that they're getting it. I'm going to end that. That's quite a long talk for this weekend's banners. There are a few additional garnishings on the whole summon cake. Blackblade chronicles a mysterious samurai from across the sea, an ominous black blade, and a shattered land shrouded in thick mist. So this is going to be a whole event by itself, with multiple chapters and so on and so forth, like we have for exclusive ones. We have seen it for Dahlia. We have seen it for somebody else also. I just can't remember. I know Falsia. So it's going to be there. So a lot of stuff in the shop. You will get the exclusive artifact of Kigiri in there, emotes and borders and stuff like that. So that's that. Amber night falls in the heart of autumn's embrace. Moonlight caresses maple leaves while swaying lights unveil the way forward. Participate in the Amber Fall Nights event for bountiful rewards. There's going to be more summon thing. So let's look at that. Lucky ticket, obviously. Play scratch off for the grand prize. There's a chance of a legendary divine crystal. Brave Conquest comes, and this also provides crystals and ancients. So that helps in. Spiritual altar, of course, is going to get involved with the amount of summoning that is going to happen. I'm surprised there's no global blah, blah, blah going on, because there's a lot of summons lined up. So that might come in a little later. Corridor of Glory, very useful. Bounty Challenge. Harmful monsters are wreaking havoc in Tia. Commanders, it's time for you to exterminate them. Complete the bounty quests and you shall be rewarded generously by the people of Tia. So this is what is there. You have to get this hook for doing your fishing, and of course you'll get shards to assemble your thing. There is a fishing master event. Seize the perfect timing to reel in, catch, and collect rare fish to win rewards. Grand prize, of course, summon crystals and Shamir's emote. 7 day signing is going to start on the 17th. So, very clearly, there is this fellow's emote, and there's going to be summon crystals. That covers everything connected to the weekend summoning bonanza that is on the way. One more thing to understand the heroes more, you have hero trailer for Zaris. New hero info is available for all the heroes. That's Kigiri, Zaris, and of course Lady Alexandra, because she is not available anywhere else. What is this? Arena. So Lady Alexandra I'm going to include, but not connected to the summon. She is going to be procured over time. She's a marksman and a piercer, part of the Arbiter and the Piercer factions. Split attack, global skills, attack, global skills. This is a legendary. So when I say global skills, one second. Okay. So when, one second, let's go to this chick. Yeah, there you go. You got multi-strike and global skills. That's what is. Where was I? Yeah, I was over here. Yeah, with this chick. So she covers all part of the board. That's global skills. Talent, obviously, piercing precision. Rapidly attacks 2 enemies in range, 1 time respectively, with 2 weapons, each dealing 180% damage, will be reduced to 120% when there's only 1 enemy. So if that's true, there's a higher damage. This is the ultimate seal of retribution. That's the range. Inflicts mark of enmity, reduces damage dealt to the caster by 30%. So she creates technically a shield, or and increase the damage received from the caster, and she buffs herself by 15%. And piercing precision already discussed. Mark of enmity, damage reduction by 20%. So it already is reducing damage on herself by 30, and that can go up to plus 50% reduction, and damage increase from 15% can go up to 25%. So that's the buff. There is the usual damage increase. Then there's chasing shadow. You can skill up. Penetration vision. When piercing precision is triggered, reduces the cooldown by an extra 0.3 seconds. Basic cooldown minus 5 seconds. Extra defense penetration. So this is actually brilliant. These are good skills. And then, of course, in the arena, damage in the arena by 15% is increased. That's the passive. So she's doing quite a bit. Let's look at what the max is. So that's standard, I would say. The cost is obviously high at 18, but that's, I think, what quite a few of the heroes have. And she's doing quite a lot of crazy stuff. So look at the Awakening. Casting Shadow deals 20% extra damage. Casting Shadow is one of the passives. And Radiant Erosion, which comes with the Arbiter, it deals continuous damage, 2 damage based on defense of the inflicted target every 2 seconds, stacking up 3 times. And removes 1 stack of Radiant Erosion. Okay. Attack numbers go up. If an enemy dies with a mark of enmity, the hero restores 35% rage. This effect can be triggered one time every 20 seconds. This is brilliant. She will kill a lot of fellow. Rage regen, attack based, which is +2. When piercing precision deals damage to different targets, increases damage dealt to each target to 240%. So yeah, those are useful awakenings. Will require a lot of. The good part is she's not a lord, which means those unpolished soul stones or stones, whatever they are called, they can be put to use. But there are enough competition and claimants for that. So check this out. There are 3 heroes available over here. Yeah, that's about it. The detail of today's update fully explained over here in detail, and quite a few content creators will make some content in detail pictorially. I will see where I can. Of course, I have included some parts of a quick showcase in terms of AMR. There is 2021, 19, 20, 21, and 22 included, and you can see the maps. So very clearly, here are the maps. Then, yeah, Immortal Codex has started. Trust this helps. Thanks for watching, and wish you a nice day ahead, and look forward to the weekend ahead. Cheers.